We all know Huawei. Huawei May.
Okay. Huawei is China's state-run cell phone company. They're also telecommunications.
And I mean, let's be fair.
Yeah.
They're actually just a very sophisticated spy ring.
Yes.
I mean, okay. Honestly, though, they make telecommunications equipment. They make phones. Their entire company is built off of IP theft.
Yep.
They're the reason why Nortel in Canada went down.
Yes.
Because they stole all their innovations and they'd been hacking. They hacked them constantly for like about a decade.
Yes.
Taking all of their innovations and all of their, because they had access to, they'd hacked into their system. So whenever Nortel had invented something or was putting out some, implementing something, they just took all of that.
Yeah.
And then made their own, cheaper version to sell back to the Canadian market or back to whichever market, undercutting them and, of course, running them out of business. Because you can't compete with yourself if you're selling your own product for half the price.
Yes.
Under a different name. So anyway, the fact of the matter is Huawei, we all know, has been involved in the hostage diplomacy with Canada and the Meng Wanzhou effort and the whole, two Michaels. Remember how they hired random background actors?
Yes.
Like they went and hired college kids and told them they'd be part of a music video.
We did.
But then they actually were holding up free Meng Wanzhou Huawei signs basically outside the court. And then the Chinese state media was using that as proof that Canada also supports her release.
Shit signs.
What the hell? Anyway, Huawei's got a lot of overreach. The Chinese government's always like, no. That's a private company. Nothing to do with us. Meanwhile, they're always stepping in whenever Huawei's in trouble. So we were reached out by Marcin. Is that how you say it? Marcin?
Yeah.
HF? Whatever that stands for, man. Maybe you could be a little bit more succinct with your name. What is it?
I don't know.
Henry Frogger? I don't know.
Sure.
Anyway, okay. Marcin was like, when promoting our screening of The Hong Konger this Saturday in Kinoteca, how do you say that?
Kinoteca in Warsaw,
Poland. Warsaw saw war, Yeah.
Anyway,
a Chinese Huawei employee tagged the CCP's embassy in Poland. He used the wrong flag.
With the Singapore flag, yeah.
And asked them for help in putting our panelists on their blacklist.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You've got a Huawei guy, this James Wong guy, is a category manager at Huawei Technologies, tagged the Chinese embassy, asking them to reach out to the embassy in Poland to put these people on a blacklist and somehow stop this event from happening.
Huawei is using their employees to go enforce law in Poland. Poland, I think you know what you need to do here. I think you need to have a deep investigation of Huawei and its employees and make sure that the frickin' Chinese government isn't putting people on blacklists and harassing people in your own country.
Yeah, and I think this also proves once again how powerful the Chinese embassies are and how they've reached this point where they think that, and Chinese people think, like this guy, this Chinese Huawei employee, these nationalists, I should say, not people, just nationalists, they think that they can just tell the Chinese embassy to go and stop something.
Go to his thing. His message next here.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine you can tell them to go and do something, and then they're going to do it because the Chinese embassies have the power.
Guys, they're calling us out saying it's Singapore. Yeah, thank you. We just said it's the wrong flag. They used the wrong. Read his message.
Yes. Anyway,
he is reaching out to the People's Republic of China in Singapore and saying, please forward this information to the. That's why I wanted to show this earlier.
Yeah.
Please forward this information to the Embassy of the People's Republic in Poland and add these people on blacklist.
Yes.
In blacklist.
Yeah. So he's reaching out to them because, of course, I don't know if he's based in Singapore.
Yeah.
He's probably based in Singapore.
Yes.
So he's asking that Chinese embassy to reach out to the Poland Chinese embassy to shut them down.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
So also, Singapore, please look into your Huawei employees there.
Yeah, Singapore, what are you doing? Why are you allowing this nonsense to happen?
Singapore, the people are based right now, but the government is currently kind of headed towards a little bit of a pro-CCP policy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So again, we just want to show the lengths of meddling that goes on here. And again, we've got Huawei connected to the Chinese embassy trying to, at least this Huawei employee, and he'll be like, oh, it was just my own opinion when they call him out. But hey, it's out there in public. if you're going to be a manager at Huawei or whatever, you probably shouldn't be involving yourself in this kind of political
Huawei has
blackmail.
spent
Or
how
whatever.
many millions of dollars trying to divorce themselves by saying, no, we have nothing to do, we're a private company, we have nothing to do with the Chinese government. They're quite literally the Chinese government.
They are the Chinese
They
government.
work as a mafia for the Chinese government. They're a spy network for the Chinese government. They have the PLA has part ownership of it.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
are you doing?
So I like. Oh, now we can see his full name now.
Yeah,
It's
there we go.
Marcin Hackemer Fernandez. I was so
There you
close. I was so close.
You're close.
Says James Wong, this is no place to bully or threaten people. We are in Poland and not in China. I like that. And he says, you've been reported to Facebook, because this was on a Facebook post, by the way.
Threatening people.
Yeah. And the relevant Polish authorities for threatening Polish citizens, for interfering in Polish internal affairs, and for, as a Huawei employee, acting on behalf of the Chinese Communist government.
James, and I don't usually say things like this, but James Wong, I hope that the relevant organizations are, keep an eye on flights and things like that to make sure people like this don't end up in your country, because they can act on behalf of the Chinese government to harass your citizens.
Yeah.
Be careful with this.
We've just seen that whole,
Yeah.
in Ireland, the whole service station, the police station. The overreach of the Communist Party of China has reached a point now where Chinese citizens are so confident that it doesn't matter what country, they can just say, hey, embassy, go take care of these people, shut this down. And they believe that it's going to happen.
Yes.
And you know what? It does happen to a certain extent with all
Yes.
the intimidation from those international police stations that they set up, those clandestine ones and so on.
That, by the way, harass Chinese people
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
They're harassing people that oppose the Chinese government.
Yeah.
And they get their little minions to do their work
Yeah.
for them.